Hi, my name is Mason Bultje, and I am a TLC Supervisor. Today I want to talk just a little bit about race and some of the experiences that I've faced, and talk about how we as a community can work to move forward and make the world a better place. So I was actually born in Mankato, very close to St. Peter, just about 15 minutes away, and then I spent my college years at Gustavus. In the summer times, I always went to TLC, and so I kind of stayed in that little southern Minnesota bubble there. And life, for the most part, was really good. But I had my fair share of experiences with racism, and I just want to share a couple of them today. I want to preface that by just saying that I don't share these stories for pity, but just to bring awareness that these instances happen on a day-to-day basis, and that many people who look like me have faced these experiences as well. So the first one I'd like to share today is back when I was in high school. I was a football player for a couple of years, and we had an away game. When I came back from the away game, I went to the locker room, was ready to change and go home. I was excited. It was a long day, and unfortunately I found that someone had written the N-word on my locker. And this was very upsetting to me at the time. I immediately felt my blood boiling, but no one around me really seemed to care a whole lot. The school administrators took down or removed the writing, and then said they were going to look into it, but I never heard anything about it. Friends didn't really know about it or reach out to me, and I just felt very alone and isolated in the incident. And it's something I still think about and I still remember to this day. The second instance happened actually a summer where I was at TLC. We were done for the day, and it was kind of late at night, and I was hungry, looking for a snack, and so I went to the gas station in town, and I was looking at the sandwiches, kind of trying to decide which one I wanted for the night, when all of a sudden I felt someone breathing on my neck, right down my back, and I turned around because this man had said to me, "Don't do it." And so I turned around and I made eye contact with him, and he was just glaring at me, just standing a couple feet away from me. And I said, "Excuse me?" And he said, I said, "Don't do it, the sandwich." And so this man was insinuating that I was looking at the sandwich as though I was going to steal it. And this is after a long day out in the sun at TLC, and I was just exhausted. I did not have the energy to fight the man, but I also didn't have the energy to walk away and be the bigger person. But thankfully, I was able to find that strength. I walked away from the situation, but the man still was staring at me from across the way and laughing at me. Actually, my friend who was there with me and saw the incident said that he kept just walking through the store and looking at me and laughing because he thought it was really funny. And even after the man took his time, felt like an eternity before he left the store. When I went to pay for the items that I wanted, I looked out the window and the man was standing or sitting in his van just glaring at me and never took his eyes off me, and I just felt so much hate from his stares. And it's, again, something that I think about often now, and how alone I felt and how little I felt in that instance, where I felt like I couldn't do anything to win in that situation, because if I reacted, he got what he wanted out of me, and if I walked away, he got to walk around and laugh. And so I share these stories so just to provide a little bit of context of the world that we're living in. I think a lot of times when people think about racism, they think it's something that happens down south, or it happens far away in a world that is very different from the one that we walk around in every day. But these are just a couple of stories of different experiences that I have. And a lot of my friends and other people of color have similar stories or even more heartbreaking ones. And so it's important for people to realize that these interpersonal experiences of racism happen on a regular basis, and it needs to change. It's important, though, that we don't just focus on the interpersonal relationships. Our society is composed of much more than just a few racist individuals. If we look at our society, it is systemically racist. From education to housing to the criminal justice system and any system you can think of, it is racist. It is written to keep groups from having access to more and to keep people of color, especially black people, down. I just want to bring up a couple of really quick facts that were surprising to me and really illustrate where we're at as a society when it comes to systemic racism. So if we look closely at Minneapolis, where I live today, roughly 3/4 of white families own their homes compared to only 1/4 of black families. Additionally, a recent study showed that black families actually pay 13% more in housing taxes than white families have across the country. So now that we accept that systemic racism is an issue in our society, the next question is, what do we do about it? And I think TLC is a really, really great place to start having these conversations because we're equipped with the 3 crowns and the Serenity Prayer. And I like to focus on the Serenity Prayer and focusing on the things that you can change, right? We can't change that systemic racism is a thing or that slavery is a part of our history. But what we can do is focus on bettering ourselves and equipping ourselves with the knowledge and learning how to better interact with individuals so that we can create a change on a systemic level. It's really important that you take the time to educate yourself so that you are able to have these conversations and make your voice be heard. It is important that everyone uses their voice at this time, not just people of color or not just people who have family members who are people of color. This is everyone's fight. We need you, we need your friends, your family. Everyone needs to work together to solve these systems.
Thank you, Mason. This is a song from South Pacific. You have got to be taught to hate and fear day after day, year after year. It's got to be drummed in your dear little ear. You've got to be taught to hate and fear. You have got to be taught to be afraid of people whose eyes are differently made, of people whose skin is a different shade. You've got to be taught to be afraid. You've got to be taught before it's too late, before you are 6 or 7 or 8, to hate all the people your relatives hate. You've got to be carefully taught.
Thank you, Neil. And thank all of you for listening to my stories. I hope they really opened up your eyes and calls you to action. Please see the description box below for more information on how you can help and continue to educate yourself to make the world a better place. Thank you.